Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are digging into a massive announcement from Linkspreed, and honestly, it could signal a huge shift in how we even think about our online communities. They're calling it sovereign intelligence, and trust me, it might just change the entire game. All right, let's get right into it. So let me start by asking you a question, and really think about it for a second. The online communities you're a part of, are they truly yours? I mean, are you a citizen there, or are you just a user? Do you own the space, or are you basically just renting it? This is the fundamental problem this new announcement is trying to solve. And this slide, wow, it just lays out the difference perfectly. Over on the left, you've got the world we all know, right? The standard social media model. You're the user, the platform calls all the shots, and your data gets turned into a product. But on the right, that's the vision they're pushing for, these sovereign digital cities, where you are the owner, you get to make the rules, and your data stays your own property. It's a completely different philosophy. Okay, so first up, let's talk about moving beyond that endless, mindless feed. This is all about shifting us from just passively consuming stuff to actually, actively creating things together. Now, this is a really critical point they're making. Linkspreed is being super clear. This is not just another social media app trying to compete in a crowded space. Nope. They're talking about building a social operating system. Think of it like a foundational layer that lets people build their own unique, self-governed communities right on top of it. Which brings us to section 2, building your digital city. And the central idea here is to think of their platform, Atrium, not as the city itself, but as all the core infrastructure, the roads, the power grid, the plumbing, that lets you build your own digital microcities. And these cities are built on 3 fundamental pillars. First, you've got universal identity, or UID, which basically means your online identity finally belongs to you. Second is flow, which is the automation that just keeps everything running smoothly behind the scenes. And third, this is the big one, is intelligence, the cognitive layer for your city. And that's the part that's getting this massive upgrade we're about to dive into. So let's get into the really cool stuff, that intelligence layer. The best way to think about this new AI they're integrating is as the city's brain and its hands. These are the parts that are going to let these digital societies actually think, act, and help out their members. So the brain of this whole operation is Google's brand new Gemma 4 model. We're talking about a seriously advanced open source language model that acts as the cognitive engine. This is the part that reads the room and understands what's actually going on inside the community. So why this specific model? Well, first off, it's multimodal. It doesn't just read text, it gets images and audio too. But the really crucial part here is that it's an open weight model. Now, what that means is that Linkspreed can run it on their own private sovereign servers. And the big takeaway for you? Your data never, ever has to leave your community's protected space to be processed. That is a huge deal for privacy. Okay, so if Gemma is the brain doing all the thinking, then OpenClaw, well, that's the hands. It's what's called an agent framework. You can think of it like a whole team of digital assistants that can take what the brain understands and actually turn it into action and get tasks done in the community. And these OpenClaw agents are seriously powerful. They don't just do one thing, they can execute really complex workflows. They can cooperate with each other to tackle bigger jobs, and, this is so cool, they develop long-term memory and skills over time, so they actually get better and more helpful the more you interact with them. This right here is the perfect summary. It's so simple. Gemma 4 thinks, it understands context, it analyzes data, it comes up with ideas. And OpenClaw acts. It executes tasks, it automates the boring stuff, and it delivers the results. One thinks, the other does. You can see how powerful that combination is. Okay, so the tech is obviously fascinating, but what does this actually feel like for a person who's just trying to hang out in one of these communities? Let's talk about how this stuff could create a totally new kind of social fabric. So, picture this. Somebody in a chat throws out a really cool idea for a project. Now, instead of it just getting lost in the scroll, an AI co-host actually notices it. It jumps in, summarizes the key points, maybe even suggests other people in the group who'd be perfect for it, and then it helps turn that little spark of an idea into a real, structured project plan or an event on the calendar. Just like that, talk becomes action. Or how about this one, moderation? We all know how messy that can get. So instead of just having a bot that deletes comments, imagine an AI that analyzes the sentiment of a heated argument. And based on rules the community sets for itself in its own city charter, an AI mediator can step in and offer neutral suggestions to de-escalate things. The goal isn't censorship, it's fostering a healthier conversation.
And we've all been there, right? Someone drops some absolute gems of knowledge, but they're buried in a thread with 200 comments and they're just lost forever. Well, here, an AI librarian can actually read that whole conversation, pull out the most valuable insights, and then automatically add them to the community's searchable knowledge base. Your community literally gets smarter with every single conversation.
All right, now we have to talk about what might be the single most important part of this entire vision. Because all this amazing technology is completely useless if it means giving up your privacy and your control. So let's talk about digital sovereignty. This quote from Linkspreed really says it all. The whole philosophy is that these powerful tools are not forced on you. The community and the user are always in control. AI is an option you can choose to turn on, not some default setting you're stuck with. And they break that control down into 3 really clear principles. First, modularity. The community owners get to decide if they even want to flip the switch on the AI. Second, granular control. As a user, you get to choose exactly what personal info, if any, an agent can see. And third, transparency. Every AI agent is clearly labeled as an AI, so you always know who you're talking to, and they're fully accountable. So let's zoom all the way out. What is the big picture here? What does this all mean for the future of the internet? Well, Linkspreed is framing this as something much bigger than just a new platform. They see it as a foundational step toward what they're calling Web4, a new kind of operating system for society itself. And this, right here, is the heart of it all. The entire purpose of this tech isn't to have AIs talking to other AIs. It's about giving us, human beings, better tools to connect with each other, to collaborate, and to get things done together more effectively, all while keeping our digital rights and our sovereignty intact.
Which leaves us with a final and, I think, pretty fascinating question to chew on. If someone handed you these tools tomorrow and said, go build your own digital city, what would its very first rule be? What's the one principle you would build everything else on top of? It's a powerful idea to think about. That's all for this explainer. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.